Welcome to a journey of cognitive renewal. For a long time, there has been a persistent and frankly discouraging myth that our brains are like a piece of hardware that simply wears out over time. We've been told that senior moments are an inevitable slide into forgetfulness, and that once we reach a certain age, our ability to learn new things simply evaporates. I am here to tell you that modern neuroscience has proven this wrong. Your brain is not a static object. It is a dynamic, living system capable of remarkable change well into your 80s, 90s, and beyond. This ability is known as neuroplasticity. Think of your brain not as a fading photograph, but as a garden. While the soil might change over the seasons, with the right nutrients, water, and care, that garden can produce new growth at any time of year. Improving memory and concentration as a senior isn't about fixing something that is broken. It is about optimizing a powerful tool that has decades of experience. In this session, we aren't just looking for tricks to remember where you put your keys. We are looking at a holistic blueprint to sharpen your focus, clear the mental fog, and build a resilient mind that can handle the complexities of modern life with ease and confidence. To master our concentration, we must first understand the mechanics of the engine under the hood. As we age, our brains do undergo physical changes. The hippocampus, which is the primary region responsible for forming new memories, can experience a slight decrease in volume. Additionally, the communication between neurons, the white matter highways of the brain, can slow down slightly. However, here is the secret: while processing speed might decrease, crystallized intelligence, your vocabulary, your accumulated knowledge, and your ability to see patterns often continues to grow. The challenge seniors face is usually not a lack of memory, but a struggle with encoding. Think of encoding like filing a document. If you are distracted or tired, your brain tosses the document on the floor, instead of putting it in the correct folder. Then, an hour later, you can't find it. This isn't a memory failure, it's a focus failure. By understanding that our brains require a bit more intentionality to file information correctly, we can use specific strategies to ensure that what we learn stays with us. Understanding this biology removes the fear and replaces it with a practical strategy for mental clarity. We often hear the phrase, use it or lose it, but when it comes to the human brain, that old cliché carries a profound biological truth. For decades, the scientific community believed that the brain was a static organ, that we were born with a certain number of neurons and, as we aged, they simply withered away. We now know this is fundamentally incorrect. Your brain possesses a miraculous quality called neuroplasticity. This is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. However, these connections don't just happen by accident. They require a specific type of stimulus, which we call the cognitive workout. To understand how to improve memory, we must first distinguish between passive and active mental engagement. Many people believe that doing a simple crossword puzzle every morning or watching an educational documentary is enough to keep the mind sharp. While these activities are certainly better than staring at a blank wall, they often fall into the category of low-challenge tasks. Once your brain becomes proficient at a specific type of puzzle, it stops working hard. It switches to autopilot. To truly sharpen concentration and memory, we need to introduce what psychologists call desirable difficulties. A desirable difficulty is a task that is hard enough to be frustrating, but not so hard that you give up. It is in that sweet spot of struggle where the brain actually grows. Think of it like lifting weights. If you lift a 5-pound weight every day for 10 years, your muscles won't grow. They will simply maintain the ability to lift 5 pounds. To get stronger, you must eventually pick up the 10-pound weight. One of the most effective 10-pound weights for the senior brain is learning a new language. When you learn a language, you aren't just memorizing words. You are forcing your brain to switch between different phonetic systems, grammatical structures, and cultural contexts. This strengthens the executive function of the brain, the part responsible for focus and filtering out distractions. Studies have shown that seniors who engage in bilingualism or new language acquisition can actually delay the onset of cognitive decline by several years. It builds what we call cognitive reserve. Cognitive reserve is essentially your brain's savings account. Every time you learn a difficult new skill, you are making a deposit into this account. If one pathway in the brain becomes blocked or weakened due to age, a brain with high cognitive reserve can simply reroute the information through a different, stronger pathway. Another phenomenal cognitive workout is music. If you have never played an instrument, now is the perfect time to start. Learning the piano, the guitar, or even the ukulele requires a massive amount of coordination between the visual cortex, the motor cortex, and the auditory centers of the brain. You are reading notes, moving your fingers in precise patterns, and listening for pitch and rhythm all at once. This is the ultimate multitasking exercise for concentration. If music or languages feel too daunting, consider complex strategy games like bridge or chess. These games require you to hold multiple variables in your working memory at the same time. You have to remember what your opponent did 3 turns ago, evaluate the current state of the board, and plan for 3 moves into the future. This type of forward thinking and pattern recognition is exactly what keeps the prefrontal cortex, the seat of our concentration, vibrant and healthy. The key to the cognitive workout is variety and escalation. If you love Sudoku, don't just do the easy ones. Move to the expert level. If you enjoy reading, pick up a book on a subject you know absolutely nothing about, quantum physics, ancient history, or birdwatching. Force your brain to build a new map of information. Remember, the feeling of mental effort, that slight sense of confusion or the tip of the tongue sensation when you're trying to recall a new word, is not a sign of failure. It is the sound of your brain revving its engine. It is the physical manifestation of new synapses being fired and wired together. As we move through this journey of mind health, I want you to challenge yourself to spend at least 20 minutes a day in this struggle zone. Pick one skill that scares you just a little bit. Whether it's digital photography, wood carving, or learning to code, lean into the difficulty. Your memory isn't just a container for the past, it is a living, breathing system that thrives on the novelty of the future. By embracing the cognitive workout, you aren't just maintaining your mind, you are expanding it. If the brain is an engine, then the food you eat is the high-performance fuel it requires to run. The brain is an incredibly expensive organ to maintain. It represents only 2% of your body weight but consumes 20% of your daily calories. When we talk about concentration for seniors, we must talk about the Mind diet, a hybrid of the Mediterranean and DASH diets specifically designed for brain health. The foundation of this fuel is healthy fats, specifically omega-3 fatty acids found in fatty fish like salmon, walnuts, and flax seeds. These fats are the literal building blocks of your brain cells' membranes. Without them, communication between neurons becomes sluggish. Next, we look at antioxidants, specifically flavonoids found in dark berries like blueberries and blackberries. These compounds act like a cleanup crew, neutralizing oxidative stress and inflammation that can lead to brain fog. Then there are the leafy greens, spinach, kale, and collards, which are packed with vitamin K and lutein, nutrients that have been shown to slow cognitive decline. Perhaps most importantly for immediate concentration is hydration and blood sugar stability. Even mild dehydration can cause a significant drop in focus and short-term memory. Similarly, a diet high in refined sugars leads to spikes and crashes that leave the brain exhausted. By fueling with slow-burning complex carbohydrates and consistent hydration, you provide your mind with the steady stream of energy it needs to stay sharp from sunrise to sunset. When we think about memory, we often think of mental puzzles, but some of the best brain work actually happens from the neck down. There is a direct, biological link between physical movement and cognitive clarity. When you engage in aerobic exercise, even something as simple as a brisk walk, your body produces a protein called BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Scientists often refer to this protein as miracle grow for the brain. BDNF helps repair failing brain cells and protects healthy ones. More importantly, it stimulates the growth of new neurons in the hippocampus, the very center of your memory. For seniors, movement is the key to maintaining executive function, your ability to plan, focus, and multitask. You don't need to run a marathon to see these benefits. Simple, consistent movement that gets your heart rate up slightly for 20 minutes a day is enough to trigger this chemical repair process. Whether it is gardening, swimming, or a light dance class, moving your body is one of the most powerful prescriptions for a sharper mind. Human beings are inherently social creatures, and our brains are wired for connection. In fact, engaging in a complex, meaningful conversation is one of the most taxing cognitive tasks you can perform. When you speak with someone, your brain is simultaneously processing language, interpreting facial expressions, regulating your own emotions, and retrieving memories to keep the dialogue flowing. This is a full brain workout. Studies consistently show that seniors who maintain strong social ties have lower rates of cognitive decline than those who are isolated. Isolation is a form of sensory deprivation for the brain. Without the noise of social interaction, neural pathways can begin to prune themselves away. By joining a club, volunteering, or simply making a point to have a deep conversation with a neighbor, you are forcing your brain to stay agile. Every time you listen and respond, you are reinforcing the networks of focus and empathy that keep your mind vibrant and young. One of the most overlooked aspects of memory is what happens when we are doing nothing at all. While you sleep, your brain is far from inactive. It is actually performing a vital, cleaning process. The brain has a specialized waste clearance system called the glymphatic system. During deep sleep, this system flushes out metabolic waste and toxins that build up during the day. If you don't get enough high-quality sleep, these cobwebs remain, leading to the mental fog and forgetfulness we often misattribute to aging. Furthermore, sleep is when consolidation happens. This is the process where your brain takes the short-term information you learned during the day and saves it into long-term memory. Without proper rest, the save button is never pressed. Coupled with this is the management of stress. Chronic stress floods the brain with cortisol, a hormone that, over time, can actually shrink the memory centers of the brain. Practices like mindfulness, meditation, or even deep breathing exercises aren't just for relaxation. They are biological shields that protect your brain's physical structure from the damaging effects of a high-stress world. As we wrap up this session, I want you to take a moment to reflect on everything we've discussed. We have looked at the biology of the aging mind, the importance of desirable difficulties in learning, the fuel provided by precision nutrition, the miracle grow effect of movement, the power of social connection, and the essential nature of restorative sleep. The most important takeaway is this: you are in the driver's seat. Your brain is a resilient, adaptable organ that responds to the environment you create for it. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start by picking one pillar we discussed today. Perhaps you start with a 15-minute walk, or you decide to try a new recipe, or you finally pick up that book you've been meaning to read. By making small, intentional choices every day, you are building a daily brain blueprint that will serve you for years to come. Your memory is a treasure, and your concentration is the light that illuminates it. Keep that light burning bright by staying curious, staying active, and staying connected. Thank you for investing this time in yourself and your mental health. Your best thinking is yet to come.